Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Bite Size History. I'll be your host, Audrey Durham, and in today's episode, we are going to be focusing on Paleolithic art. If you like this channel, please make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button. If you would like to support this channel, you can find me on Patreon under Bite Size History with Audrey Durham, and you can follow me on Instagram under Bite Size History with Audrey D. In our episode on Paleolithic art, we will be focusing on understanding the different styles of Paleolithic art and their spread around the world. Now, early humans of the Paleolithic era were the first to leave art styles behind. Combinations of various minerals, ochres, charcoal, and burnt bone meal would be mixed with water, blood, tree saps, or animal fats to create the earliest known art. They would also leave carvings in stones, clay, bones, not those bones, not them bones, but bones like these, as well as antlers, which have been found portraying small figurines and geometric patterns. Now, one of the beliefs among some archaeologists is that Paleolithic art is a representation of the people and animals from this era, and it was created by Cro-Magnon or early humans in the belief that having ownership of an image gave them a potential power over the thing or being in that image. This has also been called sympathetic magic. This may have included hunting magic, in which animals the early humans wanted to successfully hunt, such as reindeer, woolly mammoths, and other large herbivores, would be portrayed. They would also use images such as this one, in which we can see the hunt actually taking place, with humans holding the spears and animals being part of the hunt. Other types of magic that were potentially used might be fertility magic. Now, fertility magic is portrayed in images such as the Venus figures that we have found, and these figures may have represented bounty or having enough food, as well as being fertile and having abundance of people. Now, other types of fertility images would have been images of multiple animals on walls. So they would put large herds of these animals onto the walls in the hopes that it would create an abundance of these animals out in the real world. As far as destructive magic goes, they would have portrayed lines such as this, either on cave walls or in carvings, and these were meant to keep predators away, as well as to hope for fewer predators to exist. Now, while this theory has been one of the most prominent in explaining the cave art of the Paleolithic era, there have been many issues with the animals represented versus the animals actually being hunted in certain areas. It is still believed that Paleolithic people had a shamanistic style of religion, and these shamans were often the ones creating these images on cave walls, even deep inside caves where they would have to produce their own light to work by. Some of the earliest examples of Paleolithic art are from South Africa, as it is believed that the Homo sapiens developed in Central Africa and then spread to various parts of the world. Africa is where the earliest believed examples of Paleolithic art have been found. The stone that we're currently looking at is decorated with a geometric design, which was most likely carved into it. Now, this stone, as well as the other artifacts that we'll be looking at shortly, were found in Lasso Cave and date to roughly 70,000 to 50,000 BCE. So the other artifacts that have been found in this cave include shells that have holes drilled in them, other pieces of stone that have these geometric designs carved onto them, and what looks like could be spear points that may have been used for hunting or fishing or for defense. Lasso Cave is in Africa, and it is in South Africa to be specific. Now, Paleolithic art found at this location has been dated roughly 70,000 years ago, making them the oldest known pieces of Paleolithic art. And as we can see, the cave is on the water, so it falls into another one of our categories of most of the early settlements being close to water. Now, our North African Paleolithic art that we're looking at here is a wall painting represented in the bottom image and the carving represented in the top image, which could be much older than had been originally dated of 8,000 to 12,000 years ago. These styles of art show the impressions of nature and the human experience as represented in art during this era. From Africa, one of the first dispersions of Homo sapiens sapiens was across the southern tip of India and across the Indian Ocean to future island nations and what is now Australia, roughly 70 to 60,000 years ago. The image that we're looking at here is from Kakadu National Park, which is a site that has been occupied for more than 50,000 years. Our next few images are going to be from Nitmalik National Park in Australia. It is believed to be close to 40,000 years old, and there are numerous Aboriginal cave paintings found throughout Australia that date from the Paleolithic era. The photos that we're looking at right now are actually from Australia and Asia. So the image on the left is from Asia and the one on the right is from Australia. Now these images rival each other in both time frame and similarities as they are handprint paintings. Some Asian and Australian art is thought to have been created around a similar time period. Several articles from National Geographic present that Asian Paleolithic art may be older than European Paleolithic art by thousands of years, depending on the region of Asia it originates from. The images shown represent the similarities between Australian and Asian art from Paleolithic time. Now, our next stop for the migration of early humans was a split between Europe and Asia. Both were estimated to have been home to early humans starting between 45,000 and 35,000 years ago. The hunting scene depicted in the bottom image is thought to be one of the oldest forms of this style of art. The flute in the top image also hails from Asia. A few of these flutes have been dated to 35,000 years ago, while others are closer to 8,000 years ago. The art that has been found in Asia in recent years may contend with the oldest art found in Europe. Some of the most well-known art of the Paleolithic era is found in France and Spain. The dates of creation are estimated between 40 and 10,000 years ago. Just a few of the images from New Cave show a variety of species that were depicted on the cave's walls, almost 8 miles below ground. So we have an ibex, a bison, a weasel, and a herd of bison that can be found on these cave walls. These images are dated to the late Paleolithic period using carbon dating on the charcoal used to create the images. So this time frame is roughly 12,000 to 10,000 BCE. Lasso Cave in southwestern France is home to over 600 Paleolithic paintings that can be found throughout the cave system and deep below ground. While the paintings seen by tourists are not the originals, the true paintings are found within the cave, and they display a number of different species, including bison. The portion of the cave system that we're looking at in this picture shows how many images were painted on the ceiling or roof of the cave. Similar to New Cave and Altamira Cave, Images of horses, deer, reindeer, bison, and many other species are depicted on the walls of these caves. Altamira Cave in Spain, as shown in this image, is another famous site for Paleolithic art. This location has cave art that dates between 40,000 to 20,000 years ago. Bison are painted on the ceiling of this cave along with other creatures. These paintings are found at different levels and sections of the cave and may have been used in some cases as shamanic ceremonial pieces to encourage fertility of the animals they hunted or to absorb the strength of the animals they feared. Now, the map they're looking at right now is showing us that both Altamira and Lasso Caves are locations in France and Spain that were both relatively close to water. Altamira Cave is actually closer to the Cantabrian Sea, while Lasso Cave is closer to the Mediterranean Sea. To wrap up our episode on Paleolithic art, we are going to look at a few examples of Paleolithic carvings, including the Venus of Willendorf, which was found in Austria, Venus of Halafels, which was from Germany, and Venus of Montpensier, which is from France. Now, the Venus statues are titled after more modern names, such as Venus, as well as their locations that they were found. Paleolithic humans would not have been using the name of Venus as it was not in use yet, and they would not have had the titles of their locations. However, the similarities between these are most likely that they were all fertility figures, as they are female and depicted with either pregnant bellies and large breasts or very full bellies and large breasts. Other statues include the Lion Man of Hallenstein, the bird carvings from China, and a lion sculpture of Volgaherd Cave in Heidenheim. The majority of the carved pieces found are thought to be meant for travel. They are all small and would be easy to carry with, which would be understandable considering Paleolithic era people were hunter-gatherers and might be likely to take these pieces with them as they travel throughout their regions from season to season. All right, everyone, that is it for our episode on Paleolithic art. Now, some of these theories, again, may not be entirely correct based on what we know about the Paleolithic era people, but I did want to go ahead and show you guys something that, like, if you are using this in the classroom or just trying to do something at home to better understand or get like a concept of what Paleolithic era people may have done, I did like a fun little art project that you guys can utilize if you'd like to do something similar, like with kids or on your own or whatever. But I decided I was going to create a little owl on a branch with some handprints. Show it a little closer. Okay, so this, if we were going based off of the sort of spiritual side or things that like they're trying to make happen theory on the wall art and the cave art, then this would mean that maybe I want to pet an owl, which I mean I do because I like owls, but also something that could be fun that you could do with the kids. All right, guys, again, if you liked this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. You can also support me on Patreon under Bite Size History with Audrey Durham, and you can find me on Instagram as Bite Size History with Audrey D. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you for watching.